Father Luis Barrios, in one occasion, someone told me, you are too much with politics inside the church. You're not supposed to deal with politics inside the church. That really hurt me. And then I went into reading Desmond Tutu, Archbishop Desmond Tutu, one of his books where he said, everything you do inside the church is political. There is no way to disconnect politics from the church. And because there is no way to disconnect politics from the church, there is no neutrality. So the church needs to make a decision with what type of politics you're going to deal with a politic that goes against the people, or a politic that is going to liberate the people. So I decided I want to go with the politic that is going to liberate the people, because that is part of the social gospel, and I want to look at least a little like Jesus.
You know, you used the word liberation theology. I see myself as a liberationist, theologian, and pastor. But beyond the word, for me, it's a little more practical than even the theology as is presented in academic books. It's not about a theory. It's about, I don't understand how people cannot understand wanting everybody to have enough food. I can't understand why people don't want everyone to have health care and decent housing. I don't understand how people cannot be completely in an uproar about this gentleman that was killed in Louisiana 2 years ago, and his family told that it was a car accident. So one liberation theologian said that he didn't follow Jesus because he came to believe in Jesus. He followed Jesus because he agreed with him. And those, Jesus said himself, those who agree with the light, follow me. Those who don't follow me. Those who want evil are not going to agree with liberationist type of thinking, because you don't want equity for people. You don't want people to have what they need. So it's more about whether you agree than whether you buy into it in terms of believing it or not. But one of my favorite sayings that I've ever heard came from Don Hel da Câmara, who was the Archbishop of Recife, Brazil, when he says, when I give food to the poor, they call me a saint. When I ask, why don't the poor have enough to eat, they call me a communist. So the bottom line is that what's good or bad is, what is designated usually bad is what's good quite often, and what's bad is presented by the dominant world as being good. For example, I mean, the Israeli-Palestinian fight right now, I mean, anyone with common sense knows that the Palestinian people are living in huge cages. And President Biden says, which sounds smart to those who want the darkness, the Israelis have the right to defend themselves. Well, so do the Palestinians. They have the right to defend themselves from living in squalor. And liberation theology simply means not putting up with the lies that this society sells us that maintains the oppressive system of those in most need. So that's what my ministry is about.
Could you introduce yourself, because you went directly into it and we never got your...
I am Samuel Cruz. I am pastor of Trinity Lutheran Church in Sunset Park, Brooklyn. I'm also associate professor of religious society at Union Theological Seminary. I'm Puerto Rican or New York Rican from Sunset Park. Thank you.
And I'm Luis Barrios, priest in charge of this Episcopal Church, Holy Rule Santa Cruz, a full-time professor with John Jay College, so I'm more in the field of forensic psychology. But I'm an activist. I bring activism into the pulpit and into the classroom. I'm glad, my dear brother, you mentioned the Palestinian issue, because I've been telling people I'm not neutral. And I'm sick and tired of this slogan that Israel have a right to defend itself, which is correct. Everybody have a right to defend themselves, not just Israel, okay? But when you go back into 1948, there's an issue that we can't skip. The occupation of the land. This is the problem. Everything else is a symptom. Finding solution to the problem. Give back the land to the Palestinian people, okay? And you are going to find a peaceful solution in that piece of land. When it comes to go back into the social garden, and why my gospel is very political and very left, there's only one place, talking about theology, there's only one place in the Bible where Jesus answered the question, who's going to heaven? And it's incredible because he never say, if you go to church, if you baptize, if you read the Bible, all this is necessary. But when he went to answer, he said, oh, thank you, because when I was hungry, you gave me something to eat. Thank you, because when I was sick, you took care of me. Thank you, because when I was homeless, you gave me an opportunity, okay, to have a place. And go on and on and on about all the liberation experiences for human beings. And then comes James. Don't tell me that you believe in God. Show me what you're doing. Okay? Because some people, they just talk a lot of nonsense. The gospel is about action. And when you go into sharing the good news, that's why my approach is pastoral liberation theology. Because I'm a pastor. Okay? I want to bring good news to the people. So what the hell is good news for someone who is undocumented? Well, I'm going to tell these people, you need to pray. You need the documents. What can be the good news for someone who doesn't have a job? You need a job. Why is that I'm telling you to read the Bible? What can be good news for a woman who is victim of domestic violence? Pray. No, stop the oppression. So the good news are liberation news. And that is where we go. I really believe that our biggest responsibility is to bring heaven into earth. Here, I do not need to die to be happy. I want to be happy here. I want to have a place to live. I want to have a job with a decent salary, not just a job with a different salary. I want to be someone that doesn't matter if I'm a woman, I can go out, and that is not a threat that someone is going to attack me. If I'm gay or lesbian or trans, no one is going to attack me. If I'm Muslim, no one is going to attack me. If I'm black, no one is going to attack me. So some security things that are human rights that I have, so I can be happy. That is my responsibility as a pastor. And that's what we do.
Is there anything either one of you would like to say in closing? Because I think you've covered a lot.
Just in closing, let me say that Father Barrios mentioned earlier how he was told that he's too political and that the church has always been political. The church, the history of the church in this country is one of racism and white supremacy. That's a political stand. The church supported, defended, and in fact might have been the origins of racial hatred. The church is always political. In Latin America, the Latin American Liberation Theologians were also attacked by the status quo of becoming too political or of taking sides. And they said the church is supposed to be neutral down the center. And the Latin American Liberation Theologians would respond, no, you're upset because we switch sides. The church is always on a side. the side of the oppressor and those who dominate. Now we switch sides to defend the poor and the marginalized, and now you're upset. While the politics in the church supports the status quo, they don't call it political. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you.